22-year-old Kayli Arseth thought she was just meeting someone new, a man she connected with online. But what started as casual companionship quickly turned into a nightmare. When Kayli turned down his advances and made it clear she didn't want a romantic relationship, he snapped. In cold blood, this man took out a gun and ended her life. This is the harrowing story of a young woman from Minnesota, kind, full of life, and looking for nothing more than friendship, whose refusal to fall in love turned deadly. What made him pull the trigger? Could this tragedy have been prevented? And how did their brief connection escalate into murder? This is the chilling case of Kayli Arseth, a heartbreaking reminder of how deadly rejection can become when you're dealing with the wrong person. On June 17, 2025, in Richfield, Minnesota, police were dispatched to perform a welfare check on 22-year-old Kayli Grace Arseth. She hadn't shown up for work, wasn't answering her phone, and friends grew increasingly concerned when she didn't respond to knocks at her door. What officers discovered inside her apartment was nothing short of horrifying. Kayli was found brutally shot to death, the scene described by authorities as gruesome and deeply disturbing. Kayli Arseth was murdered for one devastating reason. She said no. The 22-year-old from Minnesota had been spending time with a man she met online, 27-year-old Jose Luis Lopez Xique. What began as a casual connection quickly took a dark turn. When Jose wanted to take things further, Kayli made it clear she wasn't interested in a romantic relationship. But rejection wasn't something he could handle. The very next day, after Kayli failed to show up for work and stopped responding to calls and messages, her worried family contacted police for a welfare check. When officers entered her apartment, they discovered a horrifying scene. Kayli had been brutally shot to death, the victim of a violent act committed by a man who simply couldn't take no for an answer. Jose Luis Lopez Xique is now behind bars, facing a murder charge and the possibility of life in prison. This is the heartbreaking and chilling case of Kayli Arseth, a tragic reminder that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is say no. On June 16th, Kayli Arseth sent a message that now reads like a heartbreaking warning of what was to come. In her text, she wrote, "I did enjoy hanging out with you, but I don't have enough mental capacity for any type of relationship right now. I'm trying to figure out myself, as well as manage my relationship with my parents. I'm already overwhelmed and stressed." Just hours before Kayli sent that message, investigators say 27-year-old Jose Luis Lopez Xique had gone out and purchased several suspicious items, including gloves, tape, a mask, and an apron. Later that same afternoon, around 3:30 p.m., Lopez Xique's phone was pinged just outside Kayli's apartment. Police believe he was texting her from the parking lot. Roughly an hour later, a neighbor reported hearing Kayli yelling, "How could you do this to me?" followed by a male voice they couldn't fully make out. Moments later, they heard someone leaving the apartment, but didn't see who it was. That night, Kayli never showed up to meet a friend as planned. The next morning, she failed to report for work, and her family, growing increasingly worried, requested a welfare check. When officers entered her apartment, they found a horrifying scene. Kayli had been shot and killed, and there were clear signs of a violent struggle. Later that evening, Lopez Xique's phone pinged off a different cell tower. Police searched the area and found 2 bags of discarded evidence, including 16 rounds of 9mm ammunition. When officers located Lopez Xique near his home and placed him under arrest, he didn't ask why. Instead, he told them, "Hurry it up." Inside his residence, police recovered a firearm and noted multiple scratch marks on his chest and puncture wounds on his forearm, signs consistent with a physical altercation. While in custody, Lopez Xique told investigators that he wouldn't be answering questions, but added, "You can keep talking, maybe something will slip." Moments later, he requested a lawyer. Jose Luis Lopez Xique is now charged with second-degree murder. His bail has been set at $2.5 million. Kayli Grace Arseth's family shared her obituary online, offering a heartfelt tribute to the vibrant young woman they lost far too soon. Here's what it read.
Kayli Grace Arseth, age 22, of Plymouth, passed away on June 16, 2025. Kayli was a vibrant spirit with a very bright, sassy, funny, and caring personality, which she was so eager to share that she fought her way into this world so quickly the doctors didn't even get a chance to put a hospital bracelet on her mom. She was always smiling and had a contagious laugh that could brighten anyone's day. She was easy to be around because she could talk about anything and everything. Kayli loved music, dressing up, and getting ready for raves with her friends. She was artistic, designing stickers on Redbubble in high school and crafting with her friends in her free time as a young adult. Kayli was a daredevil from a young age, quite literally jumping when her sisters yelled, "Jump!" Except her sisters had told her to do it head first and backwards into the hotel pool. Kayli was just 3 at the time. Kayli was never afraid to try new or scary things, whether it was ordering an odd item from the menu or bombing hills on skis. Her snowboard and her skateboard. What we loved most about Kayli was her unwavering compassion for others. She loved hard and was always accepting of everyone. Despite her mental health struggles, she was always there to lift other people's spirits. She constantly put others ahead of herself. Her energy brought so much light to everyone she met. The cutest kid of 3 girls, unanimously agreed upon within the family, Kayli was hilarious and sassy in her early years. Just a toddler, she would belt the song "Apologize" from her car seat, with her little legs kicking with enthusiasm, begging us to start the song over every time it ended. At just 8 years old, Kayli and her dad became obsessed with the show The Walking Dead, a precursor for her love for scary movies. She was an active kid, participating in karate, gymnastics, soccer, diving, and swimming. She memorized piano chords and could play songs facing backwards or just swap left and right hands. She loved animals. She rescued a turtle from the side of the road with her dad, whom she fittingly named Lucky. Between Kayli's sweet tooth and her love for trying new foods and snacks, Kayli was widely known for her love for food. This may have begun with her Grandma Dee getting her hooked on pickles. Not only did they share a love for snacks, but they also shared a favorite color, lime green. In middle school, Kayli played the flute, so lovingly chosen for her 9 years earlier by her oldest sister and later passed on by her other sister. At her grandparents' house, she loved jet skiing and tubing with her friends and family. Winters, she and her dad would go on snowmobiling adventures around the neighborhood and through fields. During her time at Wayzata High School, Kayli was on both the swim team and the track and field team. Her main events were the 100-yard breaststroke and pole vaulting. She soon discovered her artistic side through painting and drawing. Transitioning from team sports to more recreational ones, she began spending a lot of her free time learning how to skate and made a lot of new friends at the skate park. More recently, Kayli was enjoying being in her own apartment with mom occasionally stopping by to help her clean, organize, and meal prep. She loved mom's cooking. She wanted freshly made meals, no frozen meals for this girl. She had just planned on renewing her lease and kept finding new ways to organize and decorate her place. She kept active by hiking with her dad, continuing to skateboard, and making plans to skydive with her friend. She spent a lot of time with her friends at raves, having sleepovers, and just hanging out. A new friend was added to the group when she got a kitten a few years ago, Kitty, officially Ryder, whom she adored. A new fixation in the last months of her life was her motorcycle. She spent hours restoring the bike and learning to ride it. Her love for art continued through a collection of tattoos, one of which was a Queen of Hearts surrounded by flowers in memory of her late Grandma Dee, whom with she loved playing cards at the dining room table. Now she is welcomed into the arms of her grandma, grandpa, and Kong Kong, probably beating them all at a game of King's Corner. Kayli loved working with children and started babysitting and nannying while still in middle school. More recently, she worked as a behavioral technician, guiding autistic children through their developmental years. Kayli had a way with children, finding it easy to get kids to laugh. Just 10 days before her life was taken away, she mentioned she had decided to pursue a degree in developmental psychology at the University of Minnesota. This didn't come as a surprise, as Kayli was already taking classes independently. She always strived to continue growing and learning throughout life, not just to better herself for her own benefit, but to help those around her. Kayli made a positive difference in many people's lives and will be deeply missed. She always told people, "Well, you're stuck with me." The irony is that she is now stuck in our hearts forever. We will never stop until we find justice for you. We love you and will always remember you. Rest in peace, Kayli. She is preceded in death by grandfather, Kong Kong, Jean Chan Ying, grandfather Wes Arseth, and grandmother Dee Arseth. Kayli is survived by parents, Caroline and Paul Arseth, siblings Heather and Sydney Arseth, grandmother Popo, Christine Chan Ying, and many beloved aunts, uncles, and cousins.
A beautiful life was taken far too soon, all because a man couldn't handle rejection. Lacking self-worth and consumed by entitlement, he couldn't accept the simple truth. Kayli didn't want him, and rather than walking away, he chose to take her life in cold blood. We can only hope that justice is served, that this monster is held fully accountable and spends the rest of his days alone, behind bars in a cold prison cell. Our thoughts and prayers remain with Kayli's family as they seek healing, closure, and the justice she so deeply deserves. What are your thoughts on this tragic story? Please leave them in the comments below. Also, if you like our videos, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. By doing so, it tells YouTube to show our content to more true crime fans. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you at the next video.